Okay, so women have done a Money in the Bank ladder match, done a Hell in a Cell, they've done Iron Man, they've done Falls Count Anywhere, tables matches, ladder matches. They've main evented pay-per-views. So now the one last big thing out there is, what about a Royal Rumble? So we're going to look at the full roster of women currently listed on the E's website. Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, Bailey Becky. So it's not bad. We're at 4 right now. They still have Brie listed. I won't include Brie. Carmella, Kathy Kelly, not a wrestler. Charlotte Flair, Charlie Caruso, Dana Brooke, Tasha Fuentes, not a wrestler. Emma. You can see her wrestle on Main Event or just getting killed by Nia Jax. JoJo, not a wrestler. Lana, not really a wrestler. Maria Kanellis, not wrestling. Maurice has wrestled, so we will include her. We're at 10 now. Mickie James, we're at 11. Naomi, 12. Natalya, 13. Nia Jax, 14. Nikki Bella, kind of retired. Paige, 15. If she ever comes back. Sasha Banks, 16. Summer Rae, oh, she's still in there. Still has a job. Good. Short. 17. 17. That's not quite enough for a Royal Rumble at all. Let's see. And they still have Asuka as the champion for NXT. So let's go ahead and pull up the NXT roster. Yeah, because as of right now, we're only at 17. Just give me the roster. So we'll say Asuka, so we're at 18. I just want the wrestlers. Really, there's no just quick, easy spot for me to find the NXT roster. Go this way. NXT. Okay. Aaliyah. So we're at 19. Billie Kay, 20. Ember Moon, 21. Liv Morgan, 22. Mandy Rose, 23. Nikki Cross, 24. Peyton, 25. Ruby, 26. Sonya, 27. 27. So to fill out a full roster, you still need 3 more women to do a 30-person Royal Rumble. So that means they're going to pick up some people either from another company or they're going to pick them up from the Mae Young Classic. The problem with that is now you've got 30 women and you've taken every available woman who wrestles. Unless, of course, you do throw in Brie, Nikki, Stephanie. Or you do surprise entrances of someone like Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey. There's the ability to pull in other people from different domains and bring them in there. Would a Royal Rumble 30-woman match work? The Royal match itself is 2 superstars and 1 every 2 minutes. Makes it about an hour-long match. Normally it's less than an hour because the math doesn't work out. And sometimes I've gone through and watched Royal Rumbles actually have done the time intervals. And sometimes it's like a minute and a half. For some people it's closer to 2. Depends if you count with the countdown, then you go. It's not a full 2-minute segment. You can tell that it's more sparsed out. You usually did 1-minute intervals. Means you have 2 women, 20 other women, that'd be 20 other minutes. So you're now at a half an hour. Do I think that the average main roster audience, knowing that about half of the women in there potentially could be from either NXT or the Mae Young Classic, that people don't quite know who they are? Some of them, like Summer Rae, they haven't seen in quite some time. Oh, that's interesting. And the background for the superstars, they actually have Asuka. I think she's the only NXT person in that lineup. Yes. Interesting. So they have to take pretty much every woman in the roster and put them into one match in order to make it work. They could do a 20-person. 20-person actually kind of works. It allows you to keep out your 3 champions. They could potentially get matches, but then you have 4 women's matches on a card, which is going to be tough to do. At the same time, as the Royal Rumble match, that match is long. You now have 2 matches, but if you do the women at half size, you're about an hour and a half of wrestling. Throw some championship matches, and you've got a full pay-per-view. What they do over the top. Currently, lots of women's battle royals are you leave the room and your feet at the floor. It's not over the top. So it's because of there's a height difference, and not every woman can knock them over the top rope. So they've got the roster potentially if they take everybody and then some. Or they do 20 and they do it at 1-minute intervals. But then all of a sudden it's not the exact same sort of match. I mean, there's potential of doing it. I don't think the crowd is going to be really super into it. Because I think there's a handful of women in the E currently that can really, truly hold the crowd. Not every single one of them. And I think if they try to do a 30-person match now, it's going to be a hard sell, and it's going to be very difficult to keep the crowd fully engaged. Like, so there's some women who can do it, who could easily, you could put Charlotte in at the start. I think Charlotte could keep the crowd invested enough in a half-an-hour long match. Pretty much had the 4 horsemen. Sasha, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte. Could make the match work. If you spring them out just in the right intervals, you can keep them, they can keep the crowd entertained throughout that whole time. Lana, Tamina. Did you include Tamina on my list? It's hard to where she is in the whole grand scheme of things. Summer Rae, solid wrestler. Haven't seen her in a while. Alicia Fox, beautiful Northern Lights. Could really do something with her. Emma, same. Mickey James, same thing. Natalya, amazing technical wrestler, but I don't think she's going to keep the crowd invested super long in this sort of match. So they could potentially do it. Logistically, it would just be a nightmare to keep it with 30 women that the main roster knows about, the average E fan knows about, that they have enough, that they care enough about the individual competitors to really fully have any level of investment on the match. I still think they want to do another multi-person match. I still know why they haven't thought this up yet. Maybe for next year's WrestleMania. Cruiserweight match. Get 6 to 8 of them. Ladder match.